Okay, we are loading. Okay, so we are live on Facebook, and I guess we'll give people a second to join in and get the notification that we're up and running.
Up and running. This is going to be fun.
This is going to be so fun.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too. Maybe next time it'll be in person.
Yes.
And without masks this time.
Exactly. You need a trip to Atlanta.
Yes, maybe come soon. Maybe I'll use seeing you as the excuse.
Exactly.
Okay, well, it is 1 o'clock. Okay. Hey guys, I am Samantha Williams. I am a licensed realtor and the customer care specialist with Community and Council Realty. As you can see, I have hijacked Ryan Graham, our team leader's Zoom account, to interview the lovely Melissa Morrow of Supreme Lending. She's here to answer all your great questions and have a little lending discussion. Thanks for coming, Melissa.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate your invitation and I'm happy to see you. And this is going to be fun.
This is going to be great. So I guess I know a lot about you. I've really gotten close to you since working with Community and Council, but tell everybody watching a little bit about you. How'd you get into business?
Okay, perfect. So for those just joining, I'm Melissa Morrow and I'm a senior loan officer with Supreme Lending Southeast. Supreme Lending is the name of our company, but it's more of a family and my tribe. I basically started in the business a long time ago. I'm not going to give you the exact number because that'll be giving away my age. So let's just say 20 something years ago. I started in the mortgage business and went to work for a company called Home Bank at that time. And Pat Flood was the leader, and I left to go on a few other endeavors in between, but I finally come back home. And our mission is to be the best mortgage banking company in America. Not the biggest, but the best.
Okay, I love that. And I think that you definitely, in my experience working with you as my loan officer, gave me that experience. What qualifications and like accreditations do you have, and how do you provide that great service that makes you the best?
Okay, all right. Well, my accreditations are I'm a licensed loan officer in the state of Georgia, soon to be in the state of Florida. Over and above that, though, since I've been doing this for so long, I've had a lot of other opportunities in the mortgage industry. So for instance, other than just being in sales, I was the director of operations. I was a senior sales trainer. And also I spent a few years on the wholesale side, excuse me, of the business as an account executive, where I dealt with other loan officers, helping them get their loans closed since they are a broker and they don't have their own money, their own operations staff. So, and you know, we can talk about service a lot. It's funny you asked me how I got into this business. When I graduated from college, I went to Florida State University and had a few business opportunities in Tallahassee, but I wanted to move back to Georgia. So I moved back without a job, and I interviewed in many different types of industries with many different companies, but nothing was appealing to me. So a friend of mine said, hey, why don't you go this company called Home Bank? And they're an up and coming company. They're young, they're energetic, they're taking Atlanta by storm. So I interviewed and I got an entry-level position with the company. And so I knew what my tasks were on a daily basis, but I didn't really get the big picture. Like, what is a mortgage? Is there a T in mortgage type of thing? So I had a woman by the name of Gloria Williams, and she'd been in the business for a long time. And I finally said to her, I said, Gloria, I know what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis, but I don't get the big picture of what we're doing. And she said, okay, let me show you something. And she said, she pointed at a piece of paper, at a loan file, and it was the number $100,000. And she said, if you want to buy a house and you need $100,000, where are you going to get it? And my response was quick. I'm like, well, I'm going to call my dad for the money. So that's how I got into the business, and the rest is history.
Okay, I love that. So I guess I know the value from working with a really quality loan officer, and everybody on my team does, but what value do you think that you bring, and what value does Supreme bring being the best?
Okay, good question. Very good question. So, our business is very emotional. Our clients are making a huge financial decision. So you and your team deal with those emotions when they're looking for properties, when they're trying to find that perfect house. And when they find it, if their offer is not accepted, that's, more emotion that goes into it. When they come to me, it's equally as emotional because they're opening up their entire life to us and to me. Their credit, their income, we're asking a lot of hard questions, their assets. I mean, they're basically they're an open book to us. And again, not everybody has an 800 credit score with 20% to put down, right? That my job would be easy if that were the case. And life happens, and people have different situations they've gone through. So for me, I understand that. I've been doing this for so long, and my personality is such that I want to make this work for my clients. My first job is to make sure that I'm delivering the best service and helping them. This is what we're doing. We're helping people, right? With this big, huge decision, this emotional decision. So, and my friends will tell you, I'll be on the phone with a client and it's like, hey, what are you having for dinner? I get to know them. And there's nothing more satisfying than after a closing, somebody calling me and saying, thank you so much for your help. Supreme, there's one word that we use here, and that is best. We want to deliver the best customer service that we can. And we track that. In 2020, our customer service satisfaction rating was, I think, 98.3%. So, no one's perfect, but we're almost there. And we take it very seriously. We send a customer satisfaction survey to every closing. And if somebody's not satisfied after closing, we're going to reach out to them because we want to be their lender of choice for life. Okay. So in service, and also that goes into speed. So every single person here at this company, we absolutely love what we do, and delivering the best customer service is what we do on a daily basis. And we challenge each other. There's a phrase around here that is match me. My client's happy, match me. My client's happier, match me. So it's a good, healthy competition, but we're all looking for the same thing, and that's to be the best, and the best for our clients.
That's awesome. I know just from my experience of working with you, if we're being totally transparent, this was my first home. My credit was a little bit of a mess, student loans, lower budget, and the service that I received was amazing, emotional. I am probably the picture next to the definition. I know you answered every phone call, every text, weekend, evening, and you made me feel so just safe and confident in this purchase. So I definitely think you're such a representation of the best.
Thank you. I take it very personally.
So I guess for maybe somebody that isn't a homeowner or looking to purchase, and it's just been a while since their last home purchase, what is a pre-approval and why is that so important, especially in this market?
Okay, so a pre-approval is when someone makes the decision to take that first step. So for instance, they call you and say, we're kind of thinking about buying a house. And then you refer them to me, because before any real estate agent wants to put a client in a car and show them homes, we want to make sure that they'll be able to buy the home and close on the home, right? So a pre-approval consists of myself having a conversation and doing a complete loan application with the buyer, okay? We pull their credit. I talk to them about their employment history, their income. We look at what kind of monthly obligations they have. And we look to see how much of a home we can get you qualified for. Now, I not only do we discuss that, we do pull the credit. I do immediately get financial documents up front from them, because somebody may say, I make $5,000 a month. And I immediately say, I ask for their pay stubs and W-2s, and I review them to make sure that it isn't actually, not that they're lying, but some people just, there are a lot of people who don't know how much to make when you ask them over the phone. So we, in fact, to get those documents and make sure that everything is accurate to give them a pre-approval letter. Now, in this market especially, most sellers don't want to even entertain an offer unless they know they have a qualified buyer.
Of course.
Right. And that pre-approval letter is what will help your buyer win against the other offers. So for instance, last year, totally different in 2020 than 21, I would have agents say to me, I really need to make the best offer that we can, the highest and best offer. So, put this in the pre-approval because we're competing against 4 other offers. That was last year. This year, we're competing against 60 other offers.
Yes.
Right? Which is something that you guys are on the front lines with in this market that we're in right now. So yeah, so a pre-approval letter is basically, when it comes from us, it's golden. When I say you're pre-approved, you are pre-approved. Unless you lose your job the day before closing, which gosh forbid that ever happens. But that's basically what a pre-approval process is. They get it in writing from us. And I also, I have most people, I say, with the finances, the reason I want your docs, number one, is to make sure you're pre-approved. And number two, get this out of the way. Because once you find a house, there are so many other things you're going to have to think about. Moving, changing your utilities, getting your kids into other schools, enrolling them in different schools while you're working, while you're doing life. So if they can get that over to us immediately, that's one less thing they have to worry about, and we can get them to closing quickly as well.
Okay, that makes sense. So
yeah.
Are there any tips that you have for a person considering another purchase or a first-time buyer on what steps can they take to make getting pre-approved easier for them? Is there anything that they should be mindful of while considering to purchase a home?
Yes, they should be mindful of their credit and their utilization of credit. Yeah. So, like I said before, is not everybody has an 800 score with 20% to put down, right? So, if you're a younger couple, I think you want to be very cognizant of how much you're spending, because a lot of younger couples they just, they buy what they want to buy, and getting another car loan, buying that boat, kind of think about, can you live in the boat or in the car? If you do want to buy a home down the road, let's look at how much you're spending. And, budgeting is one thing that everybody should do. Okay. So that's the advice that I give to most first-time home buyers. And it's taking the first step as well. Don't open new credit cards. The more credit cards you open, that's going to affect your credit scores. So there's a lot that people can do. And I will tell you this, everybody goes through something in life, and there are people that they know they've had credit issues, right? But I'm impressed that they put themselves out there, that they'll contact me or they'll contact, another loan officer and say, pull my credit, because this is something I know I have to deal with eventually. And they're just asking for help. That's all they're doing, is asking for help. And they're putting themselves out there because they want to get up, they want to plan to see what's the plan? Can I buy a house in a year? Can I buy a house in 2 years? So that's my advice to younger people who are considering that, is just don't go crazy with new credit cards. Don't buy everything for instant gratification.
Right. And I think it's funny that it's such a simple tip, but I know back when I was purchasing my house, I'm like planning on buying a car, paying realtor dues, and you had to say, girl, slow your roll. Wait like a month.
Order the new furniture after you close.
Exactly. So it's such a simple tip, but it really does help a lot. And it's hearing it from the financial expert, I guess, makes it hit a little closer to home.
Sure. Exactly. Yeah. And student loans, most people their student loans are deferred. But you have to every year re-up that. You apply for deferment again, which is an easy thing to do, but some people forget. And if they don't, that really affects their credit score.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so you mentioned that this market is so crazy, which is why the pre-approval is just that much more important. Are there any extra steps that you or other loan officers you work with are taking to help win the day for clients?
Yeah, so we're doing a lot, actually, a lot of different things than we've been used to doing in the past. So when we say the market is bonkers, the supply and demand is off by $4 million homes. $4 million, 4 million homes, not $4 million, but 4 million homes.
Yeah, it's historic. This has never happened.
Yes. And I've never seen a client, say to me, I know you've pre-approved me for this amount, but I'm putting an offer in for $150,000 over list price. What do I need to do? Can I do that? And that's when you kind of back up and go, you have to go back to the drawing board and say, well, if the home does not appraise for this, if they're listed for 500, you're running a contract for 650. If it doesn't appraise at 650, it only appraises at 500. You've got to come up with $150,000 in cash.
Right.
Yeah, because we're going to lend on the lesser of the loan amount or the appraised value. So what we have done is we're making our pre-approval letters with, if it's an A+ buyer, I will tell the agents, don't even put in a financing contingency. Make it a 0-day financing contingency. Do not even worry about that. We've got this. And that helps the seller go, okay, this is good. We can close quickly because there's no financing contingency. Appraisals, what we're doing on the appraisal side, since appraisals are taking so long. When we order appraisals, we are paying for all the rush fees because now your appraisal contingency has shrunken as well. It's, like 7 days or, 10 days maybe. So, and appraisers are going as fast as they can, but you can't just go out and hire 12 new appraisers. It's a 2-year process, basically. So I will drop the financing contingency, which helps the strength of their offer. I can guarantee we'll have the appraisal back on X date and guarantee your borrower is not going to have to pay that additional rush fee. And I'm talking to listing agents. I mean, I'll talk to the seller if I need to about the strength of our buyer, just so their offer is accepted.
Okay. So would you say that that's a large part on what sets more of a localized private company like Supreme apart from a big bank or credit union, that kind of service?
Absolutely. I have very good friends that are in the business as well, and they are loan officers such as myself, and they are working at big banks, and they're miserable. They cannot get loans closed in less than 60 days. I think the average time frame for a bank or a credit union to close a loan is 57 days or 53 days. Our average is 23 days. Wow. So you can wait 53 days to close, or you can close in 23 days. So seller, if you have an offer and their pre-approval is from, I'm just going to say XYZ bank, because I don't want to slam anybody, and we know that it's going to take them 53 days to close the loan, and you have my pre-approval letter, and I can guarantee you I'll close that loan in 23 days. I will guarantee you. We can actually close a loan. If somebody goes to with this other lender and it's taking too long, we have our rescue service where I can close your loan in 8 days, which is unheard of. People think, I was talking to Tyler, one of your associates. He goes, you cannot. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So what's that?
It's insane, but you can.
It is insane, but yes, we can. So, 53 days versus 23 days. Another client was dealing with XYZ Bank, and they said, well, it'll take 35 days in underwriting. And I just said, you know what, that's just ridiculous. But that, and that's where, our supreme speed comes in. And banks cannot pivot like we can, because banks are banks. They want to protect the bank. And so the bank takes precedent over their mortgage company, and they can't pivot. So for instance, last year, the banks stopped hiring because of the pandemic. No one knew what was going to happen in our industry. Refis were up, yes, but what was going to happen with the purchase market in 2021? So they stopped hiring. Well, quietly behind the scenes here at Supreme, we hired a lot of people. We actually increased our operations staff by 40%. So we could bring that speed to you. So we also did that so we could take 23 days as our average down to 18. And that's what our goal is this year. Bring it down to 18 average days to close.
Okay, so we have a question from somebody watching, and what kind of loans does Supreme offer? Or if it's easier, is there anything you don't offer for your clients?
Sure, we are strictly residential lending. We don't do commercial. So we offer your conventional financing, government financing, such as FHA and VA, and we also have jumbo financing. We do offer some down payment assistance programs, for instance, the Chenoa program. We participate in the USDA program, which is kind of a down payment assistance program as well. So anything that's just residential and jumbo, conventional, government, and down payment assistance programs.
Okay, so you do a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have another question. This is a little more into that refinance area. Is Supreme doing refinances right now? And if so, how would somebody start the process?
We are doing refinances, absolutely. And the process is the same as buying a house. So if my past customers call me and say, I want to look at refinancing, will it make sense for me? We go through the same process. The credit, the income, has anything changed? And we look at what is their value in the property. Do they have any equity in the property? Now, we participate in the refinances because they're our past clients, right? And we want to help them. But only 8% of our business comes from refinances. The other 92% are purchase transactions. Okay. Because that is our focus. Our focus is you, our client, the real estate agents, and your purchase clientele.
Of course. And I think from what I hear from some banker, like big bank lenders that I've spoken to, that kind of reverse of what a lot of banks are experiencing. So you're really focused on helping the home buyer, which is part of the reason why you can provide such quick, excellent service.
Absolutely. And so, the banks that are focusing on the refinances, that was easy. That's, shooting fish in a barrel, because there's no deadlines. They'll close a refinance whenever they want to close a refinance, and there are no real estate agents to deal with. So we've always been on the opposite side, where, we are strictly focused on our purchase transactions, close on time, fund on time, every time. And that's why those banks didn't hire more people, because they were hanging their hat on their refinances. So now those loan officers are like, well, the refinances have dried up, and I've lost my partnership with that builder or that real estate agent or those real estate companies. Whereas we have never left you to chase the refi.
Okay. So that's a great answer. All of your answers have been great. You've been super informative. I do have to ask, before we kind of end things, you work 24/7. I get texts and emails on weekends, evenings. I'm pretty sure you don't sleep. The 4th of July is coming up. Are you going to be working, or are you taking a day? What are we doing?
I will more than likely find myself on a chair on a beach somewhere.
Okay.
Just to take a little bit of downtime. Now, I will have my phone with me, and probably my laptop sitting next to me on the table. But you know what? I do work a lot, because, we're not selling a widget, right? I mean, we have to perform, because these people's lives are, they're depending on us to get them into that new house. So But I can say the same for you. You do the same thing 24/7 on the weekends, at night, first thing in the morning. So my goal is to have a little downtime, 4th of July, have a little bit of fun. And what are your plans?
Well, we have a family trip coming up. I think we'll be in the mountains, but like you, my phone's always in my hand. My laptop's always nearby.
Of
So
course,
maybe taking some time off, but not really taking some time off.
we just a change of scenery works, right?
That makes the difference, truly.
Just a change of scenery, exactly. But you know what? I think we're passionate about what we do, or else we wouldn't do it.
Absolutely.
You know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to chat with us and then
So much fun.
Information. We'll have to do it again soon, maybe in person.
Let's do it. Let's do a podcast.
Let's do a podcast. I bet everybody will watch.
Sam and Mel.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. And I also just want to say a thank you to Ty Anderson, who made everything look professional, put together. He was so on top of it. And our director of operations, Scott Kinney, who has monitored everything and made sure there was no technical difficulties, sent some questions our way. It was a village. It was a team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So great to work with you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'm sure I'll talk to you later, but if not, have a great day.
I'll talk to you later, a few minutes.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.